Right, wrap up of the remaining things for us to do.
Fine.
I think this is pretty much the last thing we can do. I'll actually talk to the genocide first, just to make sure I can't get anything out of him anymore. You mentioned the names of some Debath. Can you tell me about them? That's a new topic. Halagad Anvor, the strongest mind of the Black Three. None could stand before him when he bent his mind to their unraveling. Intricate, careful, overwhelming. Was Tuleh Law, a methodical planner, collector of curiosities, the toolsmith and construct waker. It was he who brought the ancient machines to life, and I, the knife, the strategist, the blade in their hands. We three were unstoppable. Until Sagus cliffs. Until then, until the corruption of defeat. And that's about it. Right.
All right.
So, what is the deal with this? Min of Tan Liang sent me. He said you needed my help. Now tell me... Yep. You? Belazar recoils, his thin face a caricature of suspicious jealousy. Yes, I could use an ally. I don't need someone taking all the credit for my work. What do you expect to get out of this? Knowledge, I suppose. Your response does not allay the scholar's suspicions by the look of it. He studies you, biting his lip, then he sighs. All right, this is what I know. Belazar glances around the plaza as if looking for spies, then beckons you to him. I have a device, he says in a hoarse whisper that can probably be heard from meters away. If someone can get close enough to affix it to the creature's cage, it will activate and teleport the Numenera to the reef of fallen worlds. He snickers and rubs his hands together, and then... You'll set it free, you'll kill it, you'll study it. You'll study it? In a manner of speaking. Biomechanical organisms fascinate me, and Nycthemerons doubly so. I've never gotten to examine one up close, so, he lowers his voice, I want you to teleport the creature out of its cage, kill it, and bring me the memory organ? You want me to kill it for his brain, isn't that murder? I'm not sure. Not sure I want to do this. It's not just the fact that the creature would be affected, it's just... It doesn't really belong to this guy. He's basically telling us to go steal someone else's property, so... And then kill that property, and scavenge its parts for research. I don't think I want to even do this. But that means we'll basically just bail on Sagus Cliffs entirely. I have no business being here anymore. How does the teleportation device work? I'm not sure. Belazar admits, mouth twisting. My former colleague found it within the rusted casing of a war machine. I say former because when he activated it, he disappeared. We found his remains spread across the reef, as if it was hurled at the ground with great force. Looks briefly nauseous at the memory. Now, you might be thinking that the Nycthemeron will perish in the same manner, and it might, but I wouldn't count on it. The creature can float. I don't think so. The owner is planning to basically releasing it later, but more importantly, he's the owner. And we don't exactly have some kind of personal interest in this, or the goal in general seems to be sort of, just curiosity. Nycthemerons were also a bit weird. Yeah, I'll bail on this. Okay, I don't want to help you steal this creature. What? Oh, fine, fine. I can handle this myself. Let me know if you change your mind. Very well. So we're leaving this place. I can't. No. We need to. We're looking for a shopkeeper who can sell the crap I want to buy. The improved healing item, at least one of them.
Action! Here I come!
I have no recollection who it might be. Not him.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
Yes.
There aren't that many shopkeepers. It's not the weapon shop. Might be the insect lady.
I am the very soul of action. Why not?
Right, not you. I don't recall her having anything all that interesting. You're right. Berserker's Yoke. It's not here. Either it's in Circus Minor or we've already gotten those, or basically I have no recollection of where the fuck it is. I'll bail on it. It's not. It's something I would like to have, not something we need to have. I don't think we need to rest. We're in fairly good shape. It wouldn't hurt, but again, it's 40 shins down the drain for potentially what? We would at least have spent our stat pools a little bit. That would be a different matter. Okay.
Of course.
Prata. It's either Prata or it's no one. Contingent subroutine. Cryophorus dart. The best part about these is that they're very, very cheap. Refill everything on all of the characters. Deals 13 points of physical damage. Refills all of the user's stats. I don't know. This isn't particularly useful. Yeah, the recovery is nice, but I can only do it in a fight. And I don't have any empty slots either. I'd have to sell something. Reconstitutor might be nice. Alternatively, the Prey Sector. Minus 30% physical evasion for the entire crisis on that target. Right, it's the healing item. That's the only thing we really want. What could I give up for that? Gravity Bomb. Well, basically this does 12 points of damage and knocks the target down. The thing is, knocking a target down isn't particularly a big deal. Yeah, I'm thinking of getting rid of either the Shimmering Glass or the Gravity Bomb. Gravity Bomb at least has an area of effect. So we could potentially use this to great effect. The Shimmering Glass only targets a single enemy, isn't that great, but recovers stat pools. Which is nice, but not that big of a deal. There's no details about it, so as far as we can see, there's nothing special about it. I think I'll just sell it. Get the healing item instead, which means we can move you here and get the healing item. Right. Not a big change, but still. Right, we're getting the hell out of this place. Valley of Heroes it is.
Of course we can help. Right, Al?
Ready.
I'll talk to the Silver Orphans, see if we can get anything out of them still. Then we'll go. Oh fuck, I didn't want to come here. Oh crap.
Sure.
Square has access to this. Ah, right. I really can't think of anything all that interesting. There's the secret changing lady, or who we could trade secrets with. I wonder, could we potentially get anything even remotely interesting out of her? What would we have to give up in exchange for that? She's going to trade them forward. I think that's another potential source for quests. So would be, I suppose, the doctor, the surgeon, who offers you implants. I mean, even he doesn't know what some of them do. Not really. So maybe they could lead to something interesting. But it's a bit too much about. I don't basically see any reason why my character would fish for those things. Zeob. No, I'm not telling them about Zeob.
Learning begets doing. Or is it the other way?
If actually didn't want us to tell about her, that's reason enough.
If you're sure it's safe.
I need to fly to the Valley of Dead Heroes. Excellent timing. My vessel will be departing shortly. Board at your leisure. I should warn you that we won't be able to retrieve you from the valley. We never tarry there. Its energies are not good for our ship's engines. Yeah, let's go. Very well, my friend, and we will be on our way momentarily. Temporarily reassigned levies. What's happening? Ooh. Riz. A group of tough-looking thugs approach you from behind you. Leading them is Riz, who gives Tibir a mocking salute. Hello, Tibir. Leaving town? My friends and I would like the money you owe us first. Tibir takes an involuntary step back and addresses the thugs. I don't know what Riz has told you, but I promise you, I was never paid for the job. I don't have any money, and beating me won't change that. Don't believe him, helpmeets. He's never spoken the truth in his life. Tibir turns to you, pleading. Dad, please, I'm all out of tricks. Say something, get me out of this. Captain Tibir is under my protection. Do you want to face the wrath of the changing god? This is a full bluff, but okay. I want this to work. He sneers and looks back at his companions. He's not the changing god. Changing god is 10 feet tall, and he pauses as he sees the others backing up and slinking away. Hey, where are you going? I'm telling you, he's not the changing god. They beat a hasty retreat, and Riz chases after them.
Thanks for intervening back there. Riss and his friends caught me unawares. Me, of all people.
What happened to that cunning and quick wit? It's still there, he says, his eyes flicking away from yours. Just that, what do you do when a friend turns on you? It paralyzes one somewhat. As I was saying, we should be on our way. He looks nervously around. I hope you have no other surprises for me. All there then? The wind is right for us. Let's set sail, friends. He begins shouting commands to his crew, and they cast off the mooring lines. The airship pushes away from the spire, and the city of your birth falls way below.
Never get enough of that.
I'll remember that.
Clean car. Even as he stalks toward you, for a moment it appears as if the man is unaware of your presence. He stops in front of you, rocking ever so gently. He stares right through you, murmuring under his breath, chanting or insane rambling. You draw closer and notice the scars he bears upon his face. Then his gaze matches yours and he suddenly grows silent. He sees you now. His eyes flicker across your face and pause on your tattoo. He bows, his movements stiff and halting. Then, with blinding speed, his hand snakes out and brushes a speck of dust from your shirt. The hand is gone before you can react. I'm Clean Car, and these are my associates. You are in the Valley of Dead Heroes. His jagged smile is rimmed with blood. True memorialists have escaped us. You will find them. We need them. Uh, why do you want to find them? He hisses out a long, exhalating breath. We must open the endless gate. Find the missing memorialists. Why must you open the endless... Ooh. Are you children of the endless gate? Do you know where Kiataba... Do you know Kiataba from Sagus Cliffs? I'm not sure if I want to say that. Why must you open the endless gate? He smiles beatifically, exposing his bloody gums. It is what we are called to do. And who are we to disobey the call when it comes? Are you children of the endless gate? Do you know Kiatawa? He looks at you suspiciously. I am not familiar with her. Though one of the brethren did come to us recently from Sagus Cliffs. Perhaps Motley will know. You can inquire of him in the necropolis, as soon as you find our missing friends. Right, there'll be 3 fresh corpses here in a moment if you don't clear the path. That'd be interesting to just intentionally fail these. I'm not investing any points in this. He opens his mouth to speak and his gaze lingers again on your tattoo. He closes his mouth quickly and raises his hands in the air. Stepping backward, he motions to his compatriots that they should do the same. He whispers to the other 2. He shares our Lord's tattoo. Do not harm him. Please forgive our presumption. We did not intend offense. Please pass along. Right, so there's another cast-off here leading them. Bell tracks. Well, my friend, I have no idea why you're so generous with your time and your life, but your bravery is beyond reproach. I have some small familiarity with the weapons I carry, but I'd rather not try my powers against 3 of them at once. And I vowed to Ronos that I'd keep him safe. I do not know how it is that they left without doing you harm. Is there any chance you might tell me? I gave them a good reason to seek their prey elsewhere. He laughs and runs a thumb across his weapon. I have some experience with that, my friend. Well done. His companion is a slight nervous man in a hooded robe of blue and white. He bows. I'm sorry you had to face those cultists. We hid well. He bows, a small tremble on his hands as he does. I have a favor to request. Those cultists, the children of the Endless Gate, they have overrun the Valley of Dead Heroes. They slaughter the visitors. They hound us, the memorialists, and have brought horror to every corner of this ancient place. Please, you have shown your mettle in dealing with these murderers. I beg of you, please find a way to make them move on. And if I refuse? He holds his hands up in despair. And the cultists will slaughter us all and overrun the valley, and all the knowledge we have accumulated over the centuries will vanish from the world for good. Honestly, I don't care, or I'll help for a reward, or I'll do it. I'd like to say I'll see what I can do. I mean, I'm not a friend of the cultists by any means. I'll do it. I don't want to ask for a reward either. I'm It's not that I mind it or... But this, I'm not doing this as a fucking job. I'm doing this because I want to do it.
I'll remember that.
He sags with relief. Thank you, friend. The coming of the children has been a relentless nightmare for us. I wish you the best of luck. Uh, Tell me about the memorialists. What exactly are these factions? I know the endless gate people, but who are the memorialists? We're ordinary people, really. People who understand the truth that this world is really the afterlife, that the tombs are our graves. We maintain the valley so that no name is forgotten, and so that everyone can come here and remember their true selves. Once all their tombs have been claimed, we shall see a glorious resurgence of humanity. Likewise, we allow the names to be forgotten, devastation will sweep across the land. So isn't a choice between a murderous cultist and sensible people. It's between murderous cultists and sort of crazy cultists, non-murderous crazy cultists. Um, Tell me about yourself. My true name is Ronos Kaisul of the Memorialists. I came here from Sagus Cliffs to inter my beloved wife. That was over a decade ago. I remained here because I felt a close connection to the place somehow. When I discovered the name of my true self, I knew. This world is the afterlife, and the graves here are our own. Now I study the world of the living, hoping to bring others to the enlightenment I reached. Okay, well, tell me about the valley. It has been a burial ground for the world for at least millions of years. Yet, and he holds up a finger like a lecture, yet we have uncovered no bodies in the valley itself. Oh no, despite all the memorials, obelisks, and urns above the ground, we have not been able to find evidence of a single body. Markers exist beyond counting. Some are in scripts we cannot understand, some are in materials we have never seen, but the bodies themselves lie in a great space beneath the ground. Above the ground there is no sign of life, none at all, except what we bring with us. Okay. I'm looking for the tomb of the first cast-off. I do not know that tomb. Might be able to find it yourself at the entrance to the great necropolis, but you can enter it up there. He points off in the distance and up. The entrance must be in the cliff face somewhere. You must be strong or careful though, or both. The children are vicious and unpredictable. Okay. Um, Bell tracks. Uh, how long have the cultists been here? They came to the valley recently, perhaps a month, perhaps only a week or two. Maybe some of them have been here for longer than that, I don't know. The children's arrival was slow and insidious. They didn't make the ruckus they're making now. Then a few days ago they just went berserk, started abducting and slaughtering, and well, here we are. Tell me about the valley. It's a vast graveyard of sorts, but you're not going to find any bodies here above ground. You'll need to go to the necropolis to find the real tombs. But to get there, you've got to use the minims, floating pools of light, and when you walk into one, you walk out to its twin somewhere else. The minims always appear in pairs. My theory is that they're alive, some sort of creatures. Anyway, each pair remains in the same location for years at a time, I'm told, but sometimes they move or reappear somewhere else entirely. Far as I can tell, using them is perfectly safe. Uh, Minims? Uh, Not really. Just walk in one, walk out the other. They're the best way to get around the valley, the only way in most cases. So they're portals. Tell me about yourself. But they're not portals, because they would have been called portals. But they're portals. This sounds embarrassing when I say it out aloud, but I came here to meet up with a sorcerer to quest for a fabled magic hoard. I haven't met the sorcerer yet, but I did meet a memorialist. She told me about the work they do here, about this being the afterlife, that the names we bore in life are hidden in the valley, with the names of the dead, who she called the truly living. I have to admit that was about the most characterized I've ever heard. But she said something after, shadows fall where they will, as they will. Meaning, if we're shadows of other lives, then like shadows we can't control what we are. That struck with me. What if she's right? He plucks one of the lockets from his bandolier, pops it open and reveals a glowing image of a woman. He regards her wistfully. What if she's still alive somewhere? What if this life isn't... If I'm just a shadow waiting to step into the light? What if she's there waiting for me? It's preposterous, I know. You look at it from the outside and it's... But think about it. This world is flat and cold and empty. He looks at the woman's image again. It feels right to believe there's another life. One that feels like living. He closes the locket. So I've been learning more. Ronos was my guide through the valley when those carcass came up on us. We crawled into the sepulchre behind these boards and, well, you know the rest. Right, right. Apparently I do. Still don't understand what the minims are exactly. Light minim, upper. So it's looks like a rift.
Of course.
Mooring posts are to keep ships from rifting up, or at least they were back when ships used to stop here.
Find 'em. Something to do.
How are we gonna get out of here? Wait for another ship?
I'm ready. I'm always ready.
Foul-smelling liquid pours out of these spouts to the rest of the valley far below. Its mist feels cool to the bright sun. Faint humming emanates from these two statues.
Sure.
Oh! The Valley of Dead Heroes. I like it here. There's absolutely no place we should avoid completely.
Glad to hear it. Me too. I'm glad to hear the things I'm saying of my own free will. He swallows hard.
I'll remember that.
Every inch of this valley is packed with adventure. One of Eretis' hands comes up trembling to cover its eyes. Interesting people, places to explore like... He trails off, biting his lip. We should explore all of it, even the alcoves. I'm not afraid of any of it. Stop shouting at me. Are you alright? He sways on his feet, lifts his head to the sky, and his glow returns to full strength. He smiles at you, every trace of his momentarily discomfort gone. Of course, we're facing a new adventure. I couldn't be better. Then his gaze slips from yours to fix on the empty air, or something only he can see. Right.
I am the very soul of action.
Ooh. Dark minim. What is this? Looks like a minim too, but not quite.
Sure.
Yes. Now.
A patch of darkness hangs before you, like a black spot on your retina, except it doesn't move when you move your eyes. Looking into it is like looking into an abandoned cave. No breeze or sound or shadow stirs within it, and its edges are slowly disintegrating. Determine the nature of the darkness. Though you have never seen one before, you're pretty sure this is a living thing. The name Minim comes to your mind. Minims are usually paired with other of their kind, and it is possible to travel from one to the other through the void that connects them. This one, however, seems to be dying, and the void within it has no other exit, as if it had lost its mate. You also notice that the disintegrating edges of the darkness are blowing away like ash or pollen. You can actually catch the flecks of darkness in your hand, but they dissolve away like black snow almost immediately. When you move closer, however, you accidentally breathe in several of the flecks. Right. You stay very still for a few moments, listening to your body, but nothing seems to have changed in you, neither good or bad. Probably the flecks dissipated in your lungs just as quickly. Step into the darkness. The darkness surrounds you. You are whipped by it as by wind. It is a swirling vortex with no way ahead and no way back. Ooh, that's bad. The opening you passed through has vanished into utter blackness. A hail of tiny objects batters you in the dark, thrown by the wind. Rocks or bones or drift, you cannot tell. Then something large and sharp slams into you, and you wrestle with it for a moment before realizing it's a skeleton, though not human. Confers Stim, plus 45% on non-combat tasks or uses. As you try to shrug it off, you feel an object in its hand. You pry it free and the skeleton falls past you. Then the wind lofts you toward a bright spot in the darkness and you tumble back out of the opening you entered, clutching the stolen object in your hand. Yeah, taking an item from the hand of a dead man is not stealing. Step away. Step away. We have sickness, and I don't think we can... Yeah, there's no way we can avoid it. How bad is it? -2 speed pool. Yeah, I give zero shits about that.
I know. Something to do.
Yes.
A sliver of darkness hangs before you, like an entrance of a cave, except there is no cave, only a tear in space. With the darkness you see the glow of stars, and a cool night breeze wafts past you, carrying the scent of desert flowers and echoes of sound you are not hearing around you. If you step through that darkness, you might go anywhere, or maybe nowhere. It could be nothing but a shadow. The cool air that sighs through it seems to follow you. The shadow does not change, no matter your perspective. You have the discomfiting feeling that your attention on it has drawn its attention onto you, that it is somehow examining, analyzing, and assessing you. You step into the darkness and it envelops you, then dissolves you into twinkling motes, drifting in a sphere of light. The light carries you through a black void, weightless, bodiless, selfless, toward another patch of starry sky, and suddenly you are somewhere else. Persea, the purple-haired woman. You recognize this woman from the description that Omadon gave you in Sagus Cliffs. This is Persea, Omadon's lost love. She certainly doesn't appear as confused as Omadon made her sound. Instead, she's studying the necropolis with a frustrated expression. What are you doing here? Trying to get into the necropolis. Those damnable cultists won't let anyone near it, though. Never mind. This is none of your concern. This is something I need to handle myself. Right. We can't talk to her at all anymore.
Yes. Now.
Shrug, I guess. Looks like somebody meant to add this to the platform once. That project has since been abandoned.
Ready.
A large upside-down pyramid floats before you, lit from below by a soft white light. It is made of weathered stone, but you can see lights and hear a faint buzzing through the cracks in its crumbling facade. You study it from every side. There is no inscription to explain why it was erected or by whom, nor is there any obvious way to interact with it. You do notice that the light from inside the crack seems to follow your hand as you slide it across, so perhaps it is reacting to you after all. Try to figure out how it works. 3 success. You slide your hands across the pyramid, following not the cracks but the symbols and etchings on its surface. After a great deal of experimentation, and not a small amount of luck, you discover a specific pattern which causes the light to grow in intensity. As it does so, soft warmth envelops you, refreshing your body and mind. As you feel better, however, the pyramid seems to grow more dim. You stop, not wanting to waste the pyramid's obvious healing power just yet. It should be saved for a time when you really need it. Okay, so it's a mind and body restoration. Hopefully heals all wounds, fills all stat pools. And we can use it once, apparently. So we'll have to possibly not rest here, or this could be another area where resting has some kind of consequence.
Here comes the Boredom Slayer.
So we'll be careful with that. Blob of 3. Right.
Yeah, that's something I could do.
Crisp, pungent water issues from an inhuman head. There is nothing further up the slope to indicate where the water is coming from.
Doing begets learning, I guess.
Barricale Bruna. This androgynous woman projects an air of fearsome will. Her muscles are thin and wiry, and her body screams of sharp edges. She seems like a human stiletto. Her head is shaved, and she bears the tattoo of a cast-off on her scalp. Never seen you before. I'm Barricale Bruna. She starts scanning the cliffside. How long you been awake since he moved out? Of your body, I mean. Not very long. Figured you were new. Been spending the time at the endless battle, so hadn't heard of your body. Suppose one of us should welcome you to our social club. She inclines her head slightly. Anyway, was on my way to Meal Apest with a message for Paj Reken. But the portals are blocked. The cowards heard someone say the Sorrow's hunting again, so they locked the doors behind themselves. Paj will get her message later. I need to return to the endless battle. Tell me about Paj Reken. This isn't the first time we've heard the name. She was the leader of the one side of the endless battle. She flashes a quick look of surprise. Oh, right, you're new. Paj is commander of the 1st Militia. Took up the mantle, keeping our Sire's forces contained. Smart woman. Tough. Why are you fighting the changing god? He's going to kill us all if he gets the chance. He wants to erase us. Thinks that's the way to stop the sorrow. We're not his children to him. More like broken clones, byproducts. He'd never sacrifice himself, but that's because he's the only real person in his world. That would sort of fit with what we've speculated about the chamber. the linking. A way to stop sorrow. But would the alternative to be basically sacrifice all the cast stars versus sacrificing himself? I thought the first was dead.
She is. Ash kept the name in the first's honor. She doesn't care for the glory. Besides, our creator is correct. Fighting him's the best bet. Using the first name reminds everyone why we fight.
Tell me about Meal Abyss. She stares at you flatly for a moment. You feel a tickling at the back of your mind, and she shrugs.
See for yourself if you can get in. They've locked themselves away. Think they're going to find answers while they're tucked away from the world? Place has its uses, true, but it's mostly a bolt hole from the world. Death comes for all of us. Meal Abyss is just a place to prolong the waiting.
What's cowardly about keeping the sorrow out of Meal Abyss?
Hasn't found them there for hundreds of years, but now they say it's time to close the doors, like it's going to traipse in. Been telling them that if the sorrow tries hard enough, it'll get in. Can't stop that kind of power.
Okay. Tell me about the endless battle. If it's really endless, why keep fighting? Well, for survival, for one thing apparently. But I'll still ask.
She shrugs. Makes us stronger, faster, deadlier, more of what we are. Strips away the dross of life and makes experience shine. Peacetime life is dull and worthless, like watching life go past through a veil. War clarifies life, makes us better. Endless is a good thing if you keep that in mind.
So actually, this view is pretty much identical to how the other side views this. At least the recruiter we met in the fifth eye. Yeah, I'll be seeing you.
No, you won't. I'm down looking for a way over these twice-damned mountains. Gonna find a different way out of the valley. Been real good talking to you, though.
Tone in her voice makes you question the veracity of that statement. With that, she strides off.
Gladly.
Three named guys. These packs are lived out of, but apparently ready to leave at a moment's notice. They smell faintly of herbs and ozone. Recent landslide has closed off what was once a pass out of the valley. Chance to sleep. So if we have a chance to sleep here, why would we need the recovery pyramid? Time has to be an issue somehow here. I can't think of another reason. Or maybe they don't offer that service for all. The man looks up at you momentarily before looking away into the distance at nothing in particular. He takes a drag on his smoke. His presence strikes you as odd, as if something about him were trying to inspire dread in you. What's your name? Donovan Ross. He flickers a gaze at you and then stares off into the distance again. What are you doing here? Trying to get home. You see that woman? That's the lineup. You got questions? Yeah. Tell me about the valley? Nothing. Just dust and memories. About Luca. This man is busy reading a strange device, an elegant square of some kind of metal. Odd letters and images flash by on a reflective screen embedded into the square. When you draw near, you notice that the device is plugged into his arm with a long silver wire, and one of the man's eyes is mechanical. Greetings. His voice is kind, though it buzzes like a rattling sheet of synth steel. I'm Luca Merigali. He gestures with the book. Sometimes I read in the older tongue. I uncover great knowledge this way. For instance, his metal eye stutters and clicks, and a tinny voice emerges from the pad. The formal education of the young begins in utero, with nervous system uptake inhibitors and microwave transmissions to the developing fetal brain. He clicks it off. You see, I do not know the species to which this refers, but I begin to know of them. At any rate, what can I do for you? Tell me about yourself. I have spoken my name already. The knowledge of my character is thus more important. I was a soldier. I travel with my friends. I and my friends travel to our home, or at least this is our plan. I admit to concern for my friends. They seem trapped in the past, paralyzed. They are not as they were when we set out. He gestures to the mechanical extrusions of his own body. Nor to be fair am I. Anything else you can tell me? I'm unwilling to commit personal details to a stranger. I have told you what I'm willing to share, no more. What do you mean when you say your friends are different? They were full of hope once. We and a dozen others set out from our home in Aldea west of Sagus Cliffs to find fortune in the endless battle. We joined a recruiter in Sagus Cliffs and enlisted with the army of the Changing God. We thought we were prepared. We were not. We were in trenches. We fought with bolt throwers, energy weapons, and detonations. At first they saw half our friends obliterated by a rogue particle wave that emanated from our side of the battlefield. And then we woke up again in a new reality, our memories of the old world intact, but our bodies whole, except for Timpo, who was half dissolved in this new reality. So it went, incremental gains as a whole, with certain consequences carrying into new lives. Sometimes they would undo all our day's heroism for an unseen advantage. Other times we'd lose a friend forever. One day I was caught half out of a trench. The air exploded above us, and I burned. The new reality did not restore me. I spent some weeks under the care of surgeons. When I awoke, I was as you saw me, and our other friends had been killed. Alana and Donovan reacted very differently to me. They say I too have changed. I don't know. I know that I no longer fear. I do not remember much of emotion. I recall the fear and terror, but I do not recall its taste. And when I spoke to them, they agreed that it was time for us to leave. To leave before we became these forgotten names, lost in a flux of worlds. Tell me about the valley. It's a dry place. I tasted the water that bubbled up nearby. It was alkaline and induced strange visions. My new metabolism protected me from the worst of it. Had my friends tasted it, they might have died. He looks down at his metal pad. We have found no bodies, nor anything of value. All is quiet, but this is a waypoint, not a destination. Right. So maybe we want to take a taste of this peace water too. See what visions he's talking about. Even if we die, it's probably not harmful for us. You see a slender woman covered in warm brown robes leaning over the fire, the cowl pulled low over her head. Her skin is a dark bronze color. Here to interrogate me? She pulls back her cowl enough for you to see that her long hair is more silver than brown, and the years of life on the road are apparent in her face. She looks weary and exhausted except for her eyes, which burn like golden fire. I am Thalana Marqueret. What do you... Her eyes alight on your tattoo and she hisses, Shit, you bastards are all over the place here. Look, I can't tell you anything, alright? We're done with the fighting. Yeah, I just want you to answer some questions for me. She breathes out a low whistle.
Alright, good. Sure, we'll answer anything we can.
Hmm. Tell me about yourself.
Me, Donovan, Luca, Timpo, Zad, and all the rest. They're my crew. My men. We're just trying to find a way home from the endless battle. We came through Colne, but
She waves a hand at the pile of rubble.
it's not exactly a forgiving rock. It's just trying to figure out where we go next.
Her sleeve slips with her gesture. You can see that her dark skin does not simply look metallic. It is metal. She catches you looking and tucks her sleeve back down, annoyed.
A prize of the endless battle. One of the reasons I left. I used to think I'd earn glory there. Thought my nano skills would propel me high. Only room in that all exalted air is for cast-offs. The rest of us bleed while you lot laugh. That's why we got out.
I only see Donovan and Luca here. Where are Timpo and Zad? She closes her eyes and pinches the bridge of her nose.
If you can't see them, it's no fault of mine. Frankly, they're lucky they don't have to talk to you.
Uh, what are you doing here?
Camping. Trying to figure out our next steps. Came through Colne with reluctance and decided it wasn't the best place to plan, though we'd get a clearer perspective down here. Instead, there's some sort of cold war going on. We've got to leave sooner rather than later.
She nods her head as if receiving compliments from an unseen audience. And now I remember that there was in Sagus Cliffs there was the old knight who was looking for a reason to fight someone, and I could have pointed him against these cultists now. Ah, lost opportunity. Well, what are you gonna do? Tell me about the endless battle.
Oh no, no. It's too much. Too much horror.
She shuts her eyes tight and shakes her head. When she opens them again, her eyes are cold.
You want to know about the endless battle? Talk to my crew. Hear it from those who ran. Why they ran. Then maybe I'll tell you what I think.
Can't say I blame her, Tibeer murmurs. Horace puts it far too lightly. Okay. It looks like you've been resting here a while. Is it safe? She chews the question over a while, then shrugs.
It's safe for us. For you, we can make it safe for you. It'll cost though, 100 shins.
Yeah, forget about it. At least we know the price. So we can heal once without wasting 100 shins. After that we'll have to pay. Valona said you're deserters from the endless battle. He stops breathing. The smoke falls from his nerveless fingers and his face goes slack with terror. He starts shaking and a single sob breaks from his throat before he snaps back to reality. A flat expression settles back onto his face, and he picks up his dropped smoke. He takes a deliberate drag, and only then does his attention ease. No. You can't tell me anything? His breath hitches, but he controls his reaction this time. No. See it yourself. Okay. Not all that helpful. Okay, I've talked to Luca and tried to talk to Donovan about the endless battle.
Good enough. They were normal people once. Ordinary, thrill-seeking kids. Look at them now. Most wars. A group of people march in there with their artifacts, gravity, light pulse time benders, and march back out. Endless battle is like that, but going on for centuries. Think of it. Think of what it does to the landscape. Think of what it does to the psychic terrain. Think of what it does to your friends.
He waves at her nearby companions, her gesture continuing to colleagues unseen.
And when you're vermin to the people who run the war, when you got no hope of to survive, and you can feel realities collapsing around you, when you see wormholes open up and monsters walk through, when the air is toxic and the ground melts and you feel your mind assaulted, it's not personal. It's not someone who wants your destruction in particular. You're just inconvenient to them. Your death is another number, a way to measure their success. It's hell. A business like hell. And you did it. Cast dogs. You could stop if you wanted, but you don't. Or maybe you don't care. I mean, you've made statistics of your enemies. Faceless foes whose existence you can erase without qualm. You're just hurting them. You're not just hurting them. You're hurting yourselves. The way you see the world. Soon everything is conflict and pain. All that matters is your success, and you've killed yourself and you don't even know it.
He wipes a tear away.
It ruins everything, everyone it touches.
Okay. It was worth a few experience points. We have a resting place if we need it. Although I'm not sure how much I would trust them.
Trust and honesty are our bonds.
Animal statue, prismatic monument.
Alright, here I go.
Hello, there's the symbol, the skate
Doing
symbol.
begets learning, I guess.
The glowing liquid seeps out from cracks deep within the central hill. The symbol is painted everywhere, so much so the air is thick with the coppery scent of blood, both dry and fresh.
Here comes
Six-eyed
the
cat.
boredom slayer.
Rising before you is a tall and tapering obelisk crowned with the carved stone head of some elegant sharp-eared animal with 6 eyes. Wrapping around the obelisk are bands of engraved hieroglyphs. Okay, examine the base. The base of the obelisk is smooth, untouched by any weathering or other troubles that seem to have eroded much of the other ruins in this place. It sits in a pool of acrid liquid. The liquid smells foul and caustic, but the obelisk appears undamaged. It's unclear how much more of the obelisk lies beneath the pool. Okay, hieroglyphs. Except for 4 stylish depictions of the same sharp-eared animal that top the obelisk, the pictographs make no sense to you. A stone head. Carved head mounted on top of the obelisk stares out into the distance, its eyes empty and mournful. The statue's head seems to move until its eyes stare directly into yours. They are still mournful, but no longer empty. A faint beckoning glimmer shines within. You turn to your companions, but they don't seem to notice that anything strange has happened. Look into the statue's eyes. A wave of dizziness overcomes you as you gaze into the statue's eyes. You are no longer facing the obelisk, indeed you are no longer human. The tail of the dead log in your mouth drags along the ground as you creep through the dense foliage to the temple. You peek out through the Gandu fronds and see the old monk, Nimu, shucking how pots onto the weathered steps. You pad out to greet him, and he grins toothlessly at the sight of you. "There she is," he says, chuckling. "Here's my brave hunter, and with a gift. How thoughtful." You drop the log at his feet and arch your back as he strokes your fur and adjusts your collar. "Your work isn't done, sweet girl. There's logs apparently in the grain room. Bring me a dozen more before I finish these hows, and I'll give you your favorite nibble." A dozen logs is nothing to a hunter of your skill. You pad off to the granary, ready for battle. The obelisk reappears and you realize your joy was remembered only. Another wave of dizziness overcomes you as you succumb to the statue's memories. You watch from the undergrowth, terrified as the followers of the bird god pull down the stone statues of the Great Ones and chase the monks from the burned temple. "Heathen!" cries their leader. "Worshippers of false gods! Kill them all!" Birdman sees you. He shrieks, "A cetral! We must kill it! The monks hide their souls in the little beast. We don't wipe them all out, the monks will return, as strong as ever." You turn and bound into the jungle as a mob of angry men crash in after you, and the obelisk fills your vision again. A cetral, so that's what this creature is called. You watch from a low branch as grave robbers tear up the stones of the ruined temple's nave, looking for the old catacombs. Their leader sits on the stoned head of a fallen statue, patting it and stroking its pointed ears. He laughs. "This is what the old monks worshipped before Jarudi wiped them out. The prince of the citral. They say his big ears hear all the secrets ever whispered within earshot of any of those six-eyed pests." You hiss at the insult. He looks up. "Oi, there's one now. Hasn't been a monk alive around here to tame a citral in 100 years. Come here, little one. Let me see that jeweled collar of yours, won't you? Looks like a lovely workmanship." You give him a disdainful look and climb further up the tree as the obelisk returns. Hitting more. You watch from under a grandu bush as a father and a mother drop double armloads of springwood in the middle of the temple ruins, then sit and mop their brows as their 3 children begin stripping the stalks of their bark. Plenty to build without here, at least," says the father.
And we'll need all we can get, says the mother. Without a perimeter fence to keep out the bulls and the skullhounds, we'd be dead in a week. What about the logs?
One of the children cries. The father laughs. "Pray to Goonie, daughter. Maybe he'll send one of his servants for us. He's the prince of all Citral, you know." Your ears prick up. At least you are wanted. It's time to hunt. The eyes of the statue fade, though they do not go out entirely, as though it has divested itself of a responsibility. Why it did so remains a mystery. This reminds me, we
What
have
do
the
you need?
ability we can use once a day.
Never felt better than I do right now.
Yeah.
There we go.
There we go. The lot of 3. This corpulent mass is almost too large, but slowly you realize it is 3 beings somehow melded together into one. A fleshy jumble of 3 faces on a single head protruding from a shapeless mass of a torso. 2 of the faces track your approach while the third mutters under its breath. When it speaks, the 3 voices blend into one buzzing, angry harmony. "Tell us who you are. Tell us what you want. Do you also seek the mask? Did you climb the leading obelisk here in the valley, held aloft by Saint Proverbius?" The third face begins cursing and drooling. "Slimy Jolien, wizen, hate them, cold and red," trails off as if dazed. When it resumes, it looks in another direction entirely. So ill. What are you?" "An astute question. We are 3. A Glaive, a Jack, a Nano. Missing but 1. We require a 4th. We seek knowledge here in the valley. We pursue the wisdom of the ancients in this fallen age. We assess, we judge, but humanity is on the decline. It is only through purity and adherence to the old ways that we achieve enlightenment. Well, if you're looking for someone with wisdom, look elsewhere. We scoff in the face of wiseness. We laugh at danger. We lost the train of thought. No matter. The blob stares at Eridus incredulously. You have the aura of a hero and the might of a simpleton. Can your lineage truly be so solid? Okay. When you say you need a fourth, what do you mean? A fourth to join us, to complete us, to square our circle. Someone to sing to us, to unite us. Suggest someone. There it is again. I'd normally volunteer for anything, but I think I'd rather not become a blob with them, if that's alright with you. The faces pull away from each other, trying to ogle him from every angle. Brave, strong like us, but unwilling. The first face says. Name another, snaps the second. The third one giggles. What if you saw the minstrel bard? Would that help you? Yes, his voice would soothe, his words, his leadership, history could understand lore markings in valley. The second face says, need one who is similar to us, who knows songs of power. First face replies, there is none like us, none. We are pure, pure. The third face gibbers profanity. You don't understand its words, but its meaning is clear. It hates everyone and everything but itself. How did you become this way? We climbed the leading obelisk to seek the mass of Prosper. Everyone should climb the obelisk. We entered the portal. We emerged on the other side as you see us. A maze surrounded us, over which the painful shadow of a deity was cast. It was a labyrinth of straight corridors and right angles, full of traps, puzzles, and monsters. At last we emerge and now dream of the way to return to optimize our experience. Okay. Tell me about this mask. The mask of Prosper, the true sight, a treasure for knowledgeable, a useless scrap for those who will not see. We know its truths and its secrets are ours, not for the weak, nor not for the stupid. Okay, can you tell me anything about the area? Place of ancient knowledge, a place to rest, recover, think, to discuss. The memorialists have helped to locate and understand, but they are being supplanted by the new. Hate new. Head nods vigorously and proudly. The second face says, the new leave us alone. They fear blob of three. Third face adds, as all should all. We are prestigious. Okay, do you want me to undo what was happened to you, or you out of your misery? The strange creature reacts savagely, thrashing and flailing. No, we are happy this way, happy. The conjoined faces look anything but happy, and his straining limbs are practically tearing it apart. But the blob's tone suggests that you are an idiot for wanting to help. This form is perfect, like the stone forms of the ancients. Need only a fourth to complete, but Where? The third face sprays a fine mist of saliva and phlegm across the other two. You are fools! You have lost the way! The three faces begin to bicker and squabble in an incomprehensible tongue, and one of them bites into the blob's exposed flesh. The other two howl in rage and begin gnashing and howling, occasionally snapping bloody chunks out of their own flesh, creating wounds that heal as soon as they appear. Yeah, I'm going to slowly step away from you and just go somewhere else.
Here comes the Boredom Slayer.
Thingamajig. Phoenix. Okay. A pool that we can finally interact with. Prismatic Monument.
Let's go all. You and me.
I'm assuming this is the thing that the blob was talking about. Colo, Natalie.
Sure enough.
Right, so we can use that to get there and go, yeah. Right. Who are you guys?
Of course.
Distracted? Disturbed? This cultist mutters a reply to a question you did not hear. He barks a laugh to a quip that was not told. Indeed, he seems only loosely aware of anyone else's presence. He brings a cleaver down just inches from the other's hand.
Will you watch what you're doing? You nearly severed my arm instead of his.
The air around him becomes hazy as he smiles. Sorry, didn't catch that. Too much going on. The two cultists break off their conversation as they notice you. The man, big, raw-boned, and unsettlingly unfocused, steps over the corpse that they've been hacking up and raises his butcher's knife. You again, he says, glaring at you. And without that crazy redhead this time. Good, you haven't got a chance without her. I'm assuming he refers to Callistich, because he's exactly like her. What redhead are you talking about? The one like me. Stopped two of my lines so far. But she's not in this one, is she? Have we met before? He sneers. Fought you 3 times so far walking through here. Twice that redhead did for me. But I still put my knife in your neck in every stream. Whichever way it goes, you're done. You can see into other realities. I see everywhere, meatbag. Everywhere. Do I want to pick a fight? He has a two-handed weapon, the other one has a blade, I think. I don't know if I care. Is there a consequence for avoiding these fights as much as possible? We're certainly not getting any loot. I don't particularly want to fight you. He laughs darkly. Then you shouldn't have stumbled past me. Yeah, we can easily avoid the fight if we want to. Hmm. But if you've already killed me, then I'm already dead, right? So there's no point in doing it all over again. Why waste the time? Fail or success, I don't care. The big man blinks, then scratches his chin with the back of his butcher's knife. That makes sense, I guess. As they turn back to the body and continue to hack it up, the female cultist looks up at him.
You sure about this, Colo? They still look alive to me.
Shut up.
Just stay out of our way.
Okay.
All right,
Okay.
Rin, you can do this.
I'll have to end things here for now. Right, so portals, prismatic monuments, and more teleportation. Guess this is where our goal is somewhere. So there's more dead people. I'm guessing there's a series. The reason I'm sort of worried about avoiding fights is, for one, I don't get a lot of combat experience. More that these people might end up causing us trouble in the end. Like, it would be easier to take them down in smaller groups, than reach them later, forming up a larger threat. I'm not sure I can just deceive everyone like this. My hope is that they're basically out of it and I don't have to encounter them now. At the same time, I'm also worried about 2 points for level up. I'm worried that I'll never get Rin to in acceptable condition. Only 2 points. 2 points is nothing. 2 points is using a device and looking at it. Right, but I'll leave things here. It looks like there's a lot of things for us to do here.